What's up? What's happening? Good morning, good evening. It's pre-gaming. I've got my red solo cup, Serena Morales here with everyone's friend and no one's friend, Kevin Klein. How many do you have? Where did you get
I
all
got backup.
those?
Don't worry about what I got going on over here. It's been as you can imagine, if you've been waking up early to watch this game happening on the other side of the pond, there's a lot of drinking. The only thing that makes it entertaining is drinking, so we've got you covered. There are a lot of bullshit pregame shows out there. You'll notice no suits, no ties, no nothing here. We no nothing is actually the catchphrase of this show. We hang out, we talk football, we talk gut calls. We've got cappers joining us. Most importantly, though, we will have some fun for the next 60 minutes and taking your questions as well. Get them to us so we can get them answered by the pros at some point before we get out of here this morning. Good morning, Serena. You look great as always.
Thanks. No suit and tie for you, but that is your suit and tie, Kev. We're halftime. Jets, Falcons. The Jets are losing this one. Falcons are up 20 at half. Just a reminder, we're here every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. And today we've got Albert. You know him as Analytics Capper. And, of course, our friend of the show, father of Thor, Kenny Bets Big. But seriously, Kenny's dog is a great, impressive gambler. You'll see it on his Instagram. Either way,
Yeah, we'll find out later in the show today if it was Kenny or Kenny's dog that ate SpaghettiOs for dinner last night. One of them did, and we will find out a little bit later. It's not what you're hoping for, I guarantee it.
Let's do 2-minute drill. Let's get the timer. It's on. All right, Kevin, I want to start with this because there's only one remaining undefeated team in the NFL. It's the Arizona Cardinals. How comfortable are you betting on this team the rest of the season? Like, are they the best football team in the NFL?
You see a team on TV, you think you can make some pretty solid determinations. I got to watch that team in person a week ago, and my voice is still recovering. It was a week ago today. I was at SoFi watching the Cardinals dismantle what the team that most people thought was the best team in the NFL in the Los Angeles Rams. They're solid. I don't really see a lot of weakness on that squad at all. I mean, they were, even when plays didn't come together, his checkdowns, like he would find someone on his third checkdown and there would be a touchdown or a first down. They were pretty, they seemed perfect on the field. And, Arizona is one of those places just geographically where it's great for most of the year and then it's absolutely brutal when it's brutal. This is a team that right now I can't see any brutalness. I only see greatness. So, yes, indeed, I believe that the Cardinals are legitimate and that they are a serious Super Bowl contender at this point.
All right. Well, what do you got, Kev? What's your point today?
Look, I love when dome teams meet in a dome. I get super excited about points, and we're at a game today. It's the Vikings. It's the Lions. Sorry, Detroit. They are meeting in a dome. Usually, when dome teams meet up, the over/under is somewhere in the mid-50s because they're just used to putting up points, and they're not. It's kind of like a home game for both teams to a certain extent. This over/under I find rather low. It started 48. It's still below 50 right now. So I'm just getting excited about when dome teams meet in a dome. And I think that Cousins, if he was my cousin, I would be full on kissing him, kissing Cousins, baby, because this guy knows how to put up points in a big way. I think it'll happen today. I don't know what I can count on with Detroit, but maybe a few turnover points. I see this game going up, up, up. I love dome teams. Domination in the dome, baby.
Dominate, geez. All right, that's it for us. Kevin, quickly, should New York football fans care about football this season? No.
Yeah, I think, like, as always, they're already thinking about the draft for next season, most likely. I think that's what they're excited about. Like, already, I think they're camping out for their seats in the draft so they can cheer and boo. It's rough. I mean, I know we're going to talk about what's happening as we speak in with the Jets, and then of course you got the Giants, and even the Bills have finally turned it around. I don't really consider that another New York team, but as per usual, as we get into Halloween, it's the perfect time for New York fans to hide under a mask. So I think that yes, the season is probably over, unfortunately.
Do not disappoint. All right, let's bring in our buddy Adam Kramer, our resident game day creator. You can find his articles on thegameday.com in his week 5 prop bets. What's going on, Adam? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Solid sitch.
Give that man a cup. This is the first collared shirt in the history of pregame. I mean, this guy is really.
Wait, hold on. I was waiting for this. There it is.
Oh, there he goes.
I don't need a cup. Why you? I mean, what's in that cup? Is there actual goodness in there? Because we've got cold-hearted cans here. It was a rough night. I'm a college football, like that's my trade.
Oh.
If you guys are into that sort of thing, yesterday was a day, so I'm feeling it today.
Well, cheers to you, Adam. Appreciate you joining us today for our 6-pack. You've got a funny list of head coaches in the NFL. Wanted to get your thoughts. Let's start with your first 6-pack head coach nugget that you're sharing with us.
Yes. So we've always discussed this, whether you go to games or whatever you're doing with buddies, it's like, who would you want to get a beer with? And most NFL coaches, frankly, look pretty miserable. They look like miserable humans. They make a lot of money. They do what they do. But for me, my list, it starts with a guy that I know likes to get down. That's Bruce Arians. So the thing about Bruce, and you could see it on the sidelines, red face. Right? Like immediate red face. Here's a guy that probably is drinking Crown and Coke and like, there you go. And like halfway through one, he's red, he's sweating, all of it very relatable. So if you're into like a chill environment, I think Bruce is the guy. And I want to get your feedback. You think Bruce would be a good hang?
Well, listen, I mean, in general, people that are residents of Tampa Bay, I feel like know how to throw them back. I feel like that is probably the drink. I think that's why they have the pirate ship. It's just to survive all this booze that's on the floor of that place. So the reality is, yes, I think he would be a good hang. You know, it's funny because when you watch certain coaches, even at their greatest moment, which is winning a Super Bowl, having Gatorade showered all over their body, you could tell he was disappointed that Gatorade didn't have any vodka in it. But more importantly, he looked like he was having fun. When a coach, Belichick, I mean, good luck going through old game film and trying to even find him crack a smile, even during Super Bowl win after win after win. This is a guy that looks like he can celebrate the good times. I like a coach that knows how to have fun. I think that's why people like Sean McVay in general. I think that he seems really passionate, but he seems like a guy that can have fun. Arians would definitely be a good guy to drink with as long as he's covering the tab, or else you will be broke.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he will leave in the middle of a night and you're left and this like it'll like the scroll of receipt and you're screwed. So that would be number one.
Color red, and also always rocks that Kangol hat. Like he's living in a different time than we are. So yeah, all right, I like that for BA. Who's your number 2 head coach?
Okay, so this is the one that there's 2 on here that if you're going to get arrested, I think this is the guy that is probably going to facilitate that arrest, and that's Mike Vrabel. Look, he looks the part, right? This is the guy that is probably going to push someone through a glass window, maybe rip a urinal off the wall.
Bro? Do you even lift, bro?
It's going to escalate, and it's probably going to escalate quickly. So you guys can look at him and size up exactly what kind of night you're getting into, and I want to be close to it, not too close, right? I'll be back a few feet just to make sure when it does hit the fan, I'm there, but I can get out of there quickly.
I always think about which coach would be most likely to chloroform one of their own players, throw on a uniform, and try to take the field. And I feel like Vrabel is definitely the guy that is on the top of my list for that as well. Seems like there's a lot of passion there, and potentially a lot of just raw rage.
Yeah, and that speaks to my next one too. This is like almost like they're a package deal, which is Dan Campbell. This is the guy that is going to, just implore you to smash a beer bottle over his head and then eat the glass off the floor. I don't know. This would probably run its course. After an hour, you'd be like, good God, this is a human being that I probably don't want to be around. But the meatheadedness has a very high ceiling for a while. I just think after a bit, he'd be exhausted what it would be like.
I feel like Vrabel and Dan Campbell are like Cobra Kai arch nemesis. They're just gonna go fight each other at some point. That's my thought. Maybe Dan Campbell could get his own Campbell's like chicken soup. Smash his own can. Thank you.
Look, I think it's a good concept for the league in general. If you're a coach and your team is garbage, that the coaches actually have to fight. Like, I think that's a good interesting concept there. If you're a coach of a team and you can't put a win together, then you will be taking him to the ring for some coach-on-coach battling, and we can just start doing that at halftime of the playoff games. I think people would like that very much.
I think too, like, what are we doing odds on a fight? Like Vrabel minus 135. Are you guys like Team Vrabel in that fight? I feel like you have to be a little bit more youth, but craziness is hard to handicap in that.
I'd put
so
Campbell,
in any event,
Campbell would be an even money for cannibalism. That's the way I look at it. So.
Oh yeah, if he gets you down, it's going to be grotesque, the things that he's doing to him, and if he gets him on the floor. Okay, the opposite, right?
Real quick.
Yeah, it's getting dark, but that's okay. So the opposite now. We got to cool things down a little bit. It's Mike Zimmer, right? Like, and Mike Zimmer, I feel like would be like you go around like your grandfather, and he's just bitching about every human being on the planet. I'd like to give him 6 to 8 beers, and I think he'd sing like a canary of like all the rumors, all the things that we don't hear. I think he'd rag on every single person he's ever been like associated with, and would just be good story time with Grandpa.
Yeah, I agree. There are some guys that you think probably even in their pregame pep talks to the team, they potentially go in like those long-winded old man stories that go back a few generations and say it was a day just like this in 1873, and they start explaining all the things that happened, a lot of weather, a lot of how their knee felt. You get a lot of that. He's one of those guys. I feel like you definitely get that. Agree.
I like this idea of coaches fighting each other after a game if it's a tie. Like right now, we'd have Zimmer and Dan Campbell like playing each other. I'm in. Like,
I think
whatever
I think that may have to be a 6-pack. Yeah, we may have to do like a battle of a death ranking next. Although I think we have our 1 and 1A. And then look, the last one is Cliff Kingsbury, and I thought. I feel like Sean McVay and Kingsbury are kind of the same thing, so they could be a package deal. It's going to start off the night's going to start off slow, and then you're going to wake up like in Tijuana, like wearing your shirt as pants and just covered in bruises, and you will not have a cell phone. And that's what I feel like a night with Cliff Kingsbury would be. And you're not quite sure what happened, but you know that you were with Cliff, he gave you something to drink, and all of a sudden the next day, you are lost at sea or lost in a different country. And I feel like things would just get completely weird with him.
This is a fascinating look at coaches, unlike anywhere you would get. Like most people are talking about their winning history, their losing history.
Yeah.
Not here. Of course not. Pre-game, you never know what you get. And here, we spend a lot of time talking about players. We talk a lot about props. We talk a lot. But if you think about it, so many of the bets that you're going to place today, or perhaps you've placed, they kind of live and die based on the mental, fortitude of the coaches. So I think it's interesting that we've broken them down to a point where now you can decide, do I feel confident even a little bit putting money on any sort of a play that Zimmer is going to be calling the shots on, or that Campbell's going to be calling. These are all things we should be thinking about. And thanks to Adam Kramer, now we have a whole new way to rethink all of the bets we put in for today.
Adam, cheers to you, and cheers to
cheers,
all
y'all.
of the Squid Games I can think about now moving forward into the NFL, the rest of the NFL season. It's only week 5. We got time. Oh, man. Cheers, bud.
Ooh.
Stay out of those
All right,
fights.
take care, guys.
Have a good one.
I will start them. Take care.
Hey, hold on. My math tells me that you have not given us 6. You've only given us 5. What about Pete Carroll? You're dropping him off your list?
Oh, that's right. Pete Carroll. Sorry. Well, Pete, I guess I feel bad for him. Pete is, I'm moving things around. So again, another guy, it's probably not just alcohol you're getting involved with Pete Carroll. So you're going to be in for a really good night. He's an old man. I think his stamina is still there. He could still keep up. To me, Pete Carroll, though, I think he's still got it. We'll see what he has with his backup quarterback, but I think he would just be a good, we talk about bad fun, arrests, guys getting down, all that different things. You can have a good, clean night of fun with Pete Carroll and probably drink something pretty good. That's another guy, though, that could probably leave you with the tab.
He's a sniffer guy. He's got really good hair, Pete Carroll. Like, puts the fingers through. He probably wears, puts coconut oil in it or some crap,
I actually saw him trying to. Actually, on Thursday, you could see him. He was trying to sever his finger off so he could give it to his quarterback in the middle of the game. That's the kind of coach he is.
I like him. I'm always being a fan. I don't know. It's got high bust potential in terms of a guy to hang out with, but I'm willing to give it a chance.
Adam Kramer,
Mike
this guy
Zimmer?
does not just put on a collared shirt for nothing. This is fascinating. This is good stuff right here. Of course, this is Pregaming. This has been our Pick Six, where we talk to people every single week. They give us 6 things on their mind. Today it was the coach breakdown, and it's something worth thinking about as you get into the action today. I don't even know if both of these coaches that are in London right now will be allowed back, because technically they're there on a working visa, right? I don't know if you can count either of them as actually working, depending on how this game plays out. They could be there. London, it's our gift to you. Enjoy some lousy NFL coaches. And thank you, Adam. Appreciate your time this morning.
All right. Cheers, all. Talk to you guys soon.
Cheers. Believe,
Adam's
Kevin,
gotta get back to his
believe.
juice cleanse.
All right, it's now time, right, for our Power Hour. We're picking some games. Always, we're joined by Albert and Kenny. Bets big. Welcome, my friends. How are you doing?
What's up? What's up? Hey, touchdown Jets, guys! We're on the comeback trail. We're on the comeback trail.
They scored their first touchdown today.
Albert's been sweating that one for a minute now, so hopefully he gets lucky here and gets a little Jets comeback.
I need it right now. It's 20-10. The live line is plus 9.5. If you like the Jets before the kickoff, definitely take that 9.5 live line.
Who liked the Jets before the kickoff? That's the question. Jesus.
I did.
He believes in equality, Kevin. Like, let him be here.
Equality is good for all people, but I don't know if you can include the Jets in that statement. I mean, let's be honest. The Jets are what the Jets are. You can smell their stank from the other side of the pond, and even if they turn it around and become a team with 2 wins this season after today, will they ever get the respect back that they once had? When does that respect come back? We talking 5 years, 10 years? When is it? Even Geno Smith got more respect. Geno Smith got more respect in one drive in Seattle than he got his entire career in New York.
I know.
True. I will say this, though. The Falcons are notorious to blow leads. They did it all last year. They've already done it once this year. So maybe, they did it last week against the Redskins. Maybe they'll blow this lead again today against the Jets in London. I know it's super early. We're doing mimosas here in Dallas, Texas. What are you guys drinking?
Hey. Cheers to that, my friend. Do you have a red Solo cup?
Cheers.
We'll have to get you one of those. Yeah, you're right. The Falcons,
I'm going classy.
Notoriously blew that Super Bowl lead that we all thought they were going to beat the Patriots, and then that didn't happen. So good point. All right. Well, Kenny is here. Albert's here. Kevin's here. Serena's here. We're here every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern to get you kicked off for what is a good weekend of football. We talked Jets with you briefly. We're looking to turn that page. What other games do you have your eyes on, Albert?
This first game, if you guys can remind me, I forgot the order of the games we're supposed to go through.
Let's go with Mike Vrabel. So we're just talking about him and his Titans.
All right. So Titans right here. This is a fade Urban Meyer play. I'm not even that big on Tannehill. Julio Jones is hurt. AJ Brown is hurt. There's still King Henry, but this is 100% a fade Urban Meyer spot. I know they're playing at home, but give me the Titans. I like that 4.5 point number.
Fade Urban Meyer is now the most popular collegiate dance you can do at a bar. It's actually called the Fade Urban Meyer. It's very popular.
Oh my God.
It's a very provocative movement. I can't show it on TV, but yeah.
It's the new twerking, is what I've heard.
The Jags looked competent, I would say, for the first time this season, even though they lost to your Bengals, Kevin. They looked like they could win a football game.
Yeah, they look like they
Trevor
could.
Lawrence actually had a really good first half last Thursday night. He was good on the ground. He threw some really good passes as well. Obviously, they kind of blew it at the end with Joe Burrow's comeback, but you're right. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a really good quarterback and moving forward, but I just can't back Urban Meyer. I think too much is going to happen in Jacksonville. Whether he stays or whether he goes, I don't know, but I think the locker room is lost. So I can't back a team where they don't believe in their head coach.
Also, you got to keep in mind, Serena, from behind, Trevor Lawrence is exactly Urban Meyer's type. So you got to keep in mind that can be confusing. It's all about focus. When coaches lose focus and teams lose focus, you think about historically, whenever there's been a lot of off the field antics, it is very hard for a team to come back and put something together. Jacksonville is in shambles right now, absolutely in shambles right now. And I think that I'm glad that Albert is talking about that. We just got into our whole six-pack segment about coaches. We didn't even mention Urban Meyer in that segment. The guy's been getting a lot of buzz, obviously. Very trendy name right now. How can anyone – I mean, I'd love to hear, Kenny, if you disagree, but how can anyone get into a bet on Jacksonville with any sort of confidence that they will be able to be focused on the field at all? I mean, this is like a wild week that we've all been experiencing.
Yeah, looking at this line, it looks sketchy. The line is screaming Jaguars. The look-ahead line last week before the Titans dropped that game to the Jets was 7.5. After losing, it now dropped to 4.5. So you're getting great value on the line here if you take the Titans. But yeah, you can't. There's no way you could take your money and really put it down on the Jaguars confidently.
Yeah, there's just no faith in the Jags. Okay, we'll move on. How about Albert? You have the Broncos here, and Teddy Bridgewater is back after coming back from a concussion protocol.
Yes, Teddy B is back. He's traveling to Pittsburgh to play Big Ben. Again, this is a Denver spot for me. So another road team. I do like the Broncos in this game. Pittsburgh has the reputation, but they just haven't shown any life all year long on offense. I think Big Ben is washed. He's a very old, 39 years old. And I'm just going to go with the Broncos here. Give me Denver. I think you could get them at a pick 'em. There's probably some spots now that's already moving towards the Broncos -1 or -2. But I want to play it safe and give me the Broncos money line at -121. Kenny, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, man. I like the Broncos here a lot. The Steelers, if you haven't watched the Steelers game this year, they stink. Big Ben stinks. His noodle arm is definitely worse this year than it was last year. Not to mention, Teddy Covers is 38-14-1 against the spread as a starter, which, if you're not good at math, that's 71%. That's just absurd. So give me Teddy Covers all day. Short money line favorite.
Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins?
I thought we
At
like
this
home
point,
dogs.
it has to be Dwayne
I
Haskins,
thought we're all
right?
home dogs, Kenny. Kenny, you're going away from the home dogs? I mean, Pittsburgh is a home dog. It's shifted now. You still think there's no chance, huh?
Yeah, well, I actually gave this line out earlier in the week when the Broncos were like +1, +1.5, depending where you looked. The line since has shifted, and that's even with Teddy Bridgewater in concussion protocol. So yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. You got to bet the Broncos here.
Are we going to ever see a backup quarterback come in for Big Ben?
I mean, I don't know about you, Kenny, but I think at this point, Big Ben is no longer viable, right, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a great defense. Their coach is pretty good, even though he hasn't won anything in 13 years. But you almost have to give it a try with Dwayne Haskins. They made the move. They traded for him or either sign him this offseason. So let's see what the kid has.
He, too, likes a bar, Dwayne Haskins. You could go to Jacksonville. Oh, man. All right. But, Albert, you got one more game. Two more games. Chargers, right? We got the Chargers today. This will be a good game. Chargers-Browns.
This is a great game. Both teams are good. I believe they're both 3-1. It's in LA. I don't know if the Cleveland Browns fans are going to travel, but basically every game in LA for the Chargers has been an away game for them. It's probably going to be the same today. But I'm just a big believer in Justin Herbert. He's really proving that, this second-year jump is a real deal. And he has a lot of value right now to be, a futures in terms of MVP betting. Because if the Chargers finish first or second in the AFC, I think that's great value in Justin Herbert. I think Kenny's going to disagree with me, but I do like the Chargers to kind of take care of business at home today. Money line is a little juicy at -136. If you don't want to do that, go ahead and play the spread.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the other side here. No, yeah, I don't agree here. I know the Chargers are coming off, back-to-back convincing wins over the Chiefs and the Raiders, both division opponents. But if you look at the way that this Chargers team is constructed, their defense is, ideal at stopping passing plays. But when you look at their rushing defense, they're ranked 29th in the NFL at stopping the run, giving up over 140 yards per game on the ground. And, they have the Browns coming to town, right? The Browns with their two-headed monster in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, number one rushing attack in the NFL. I just think the Browns' strengths play into the Chargers' weaknesses here. And I think you're getting a big public overreaction on the Chargers here coming off those two wins. And great price on the Browns, +3 and plus money on the money line. You got to take that.
Also, guys,
Kenny
can we
makes
talk
a
about
great point. The Browns.
Points. There's going to be points, guys.
Kenny makes a great point. The Browns are a great running team, and especially this week, right? Because Baker Mayfield does have that partially torn labrum, and he hasn't thrown a ball basically all week. He was awful last week, so they're going to have to lean on the run here. So that is a good point for Kenny. I'm hoping the new Chargers, coaching staff identifies that early and puts the eighth man in the box.
If you care about betting on the over-under on this one, it opened, it was over 50. They thought these teams were going to put up, 51 points. That's now dropped into, I've seen it as low as 47, 46 and a half some places, which means a lot of the public money is on the under. They're trying to get it lower and lower and lower. They want to move it around. Any thoughts on if this is going to be the high-scoring affair people think? Last I checked, weather in LA, as always, is 70 degrees and perfect, so I don't think that's going to play into this at all. Do you believe that the east to west travel is going to be problematic for the Cleveland Browns? Do you think that we can look to each team to put up 4 touchdowns in this game to go over? Kenny, we'll start with you.
I would lean under here just based on, if you like the Browns path to victory is controlling the clock. Both these teams, are top 5 in the NFL in time of possession. And unders, the last 10 unders for the Chargers have actually gone 8-2 to the under. So, you look at Justin Herbert, big arm quarterback, you automatically think he's going to put up a ton of points, but not so fast because the under has been very profitable in Chargers games.
Kevin, you mentioned great weather in LA. It did storm there last week. Remember, we had the lightning delay. So if there's lightning today, it's going to be another delay there in that beautiful $5 billion stadium. But I agree with Kenny. I do lean the under. The Chargers have a great offense, but you saw many games already this year went under. Them and the Cowboys, that was supposed to go over, and went under easily. I think it's going to be the same story this week as well.
Well, like I said before, lightning is God's way of handicapping the game for the Chargers. That is the greatest handicapper there is right there. If he's giving us the bolts in the sky, he's saying put your money on the bolts, and that is exactly what happened. Listen, that's all I needed. I mean, that was enough. I'm a gut guy. These guys, you got obviously analytics. Capper is always about looking at the analytics. He's got algorithms, more algorithms than Netflix. You got Kenny Bets Big. This man knows what it's like. He's got plays happening. He's got to go to international casinos to put his action in because he's so feared in America. And then you got me. I'm a gut guy. And this is how I feed my gut, all right? This is the sandwich of a winner right here, all right? This is a McMuffin.
Oh, my gosh. By the way,
We
with
got
that, you're
sausage or bacon,
watching.
Kevin?
Ooh, sausage or bacon?
Canadian bacon, pal. I'm classy.
Less fat
All right,
for
so
the gut.
we went from an under. We went from an under to this next game where I leaned the over. It's my Dallas Cowboys. They're hosting the Giants. The Cowboys, honestly, their defense have been a little overrated. I think Trayvon Diggs have been covering up a lot of mistakes, especially last week. He ended 2 drives with 2 miraculous interceptions. They're always prone to a backdoor because they don't put teams out. So I see the same story this week. I think the Cowboys may get up early on the Giants, but then the second half, the Giants' offense is going to settle in and really put some points up. So I do like the over in this game. And, it started, I believe, at 51, which Kenny knows is a very, very key number in NFL. It's already up to 52.5. So give me the over for this game.
Kenny, Are you feeling one way or another? I mean, it's hard not to just pick the Cowboys money line, although I think everyone is, so you would go otherwise.
Yeah, I would lean Giants here. It's not, last week I gave you guys the Giants versus the Saints. If I was going to bet a side here, I would definitely lean Giants. They've looked a little better than people are giving them credit for. Daniel Jones hasn't looked terrible. I was getting on him earlier in the year, but he's actually been pretty serviceable. And I think the division game, I think the Giants will be able to keep this one close. Albert touched on how the line has moved already. That 52 and a half is a very key number in the NFL because you got like a 28-24 score. So after getting the line movement, you don't want to take the over here because you're on the bad side of a line. So I would probably lean under if I'm getting a 52 and a half on the line.
Just
Also,
a reminder,
just to point out,
we're here every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Pregaming. You got Kenny Betts Big. You got Analytics Capper, Kevin Klein, Serena Morales. Cheers to another Sunday. We're in week 5. Boom.
you can get your questions to us if you have questions of games or specific props we're not answering right now. We will get to them before we're out of here today. We've got the expert heads of both Kenny Betts Big and Albert, the pro capper, to break it down. I just want to mention in this Cowboys-Giants game, I'm in a 3,000 person survivor eliminator, whatever you want to call it. And 86% of I'm not, but 86% of the people that are in this one are all taking Dallas to win this one as a lock, as a guarantee. That's the team they're going. And inevitably, what ends up happening is at some point right around this week in the NFL season, there seems to be the sure thing, and it just wipes most of the people out. And I see this as being, we talked about Squid Games, I see this as being the Squid Game game of the week, and the Giants are going to win the game. You're going to say I'm crazy, guys, but the Giants are going to win this game. I love the Giants. If you can find them on a money line right now, which is like almost a plus 300, I think. I love that bet as good value. And you may think I'm insane, but if you look historically at these two teams that play, there's something going on always whenever there's the NFC least battling it out. And I love the Giants to not only take care of the spread, but win the actual game. So that's my lock this week.
Oof. Daniel Jones plays really well on the road.
Plus 300 money line lock. That is ballsy and very bold. I love that, Kevin. But I agree with you guys. Both Kenny and Kevin kind of alluded to it. It's a Giants play. I'm a big Cowboys fan, full disclosure, but this is exactly when the Cowboys, I'm a big Cowboys fan, but this is when they disappoint you, right? They just came off of very, very convincing wins. Chargers, elite defense in Carolina, and they put up 36 points. This is kind of when you think the Cowboys are going to roll, and then they drop a dud. So definitely do not pick the Cowboys in your survivor pool. I wouldn't go as far as losing straight up, but I don't see them covering today.
Daniel Jones on the road this season, 2 games, 70% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns. He's doing pretty well. So if that's how we're rolling, I wouldn't doubt you. And also, it's very Cowboys, right? Like, this is a point where the Giants and
Very
Cowboys
on brand,
sort of.
yes.
Yeah, it's on brand. I hear you. All right, Kenny, let's get to your matchups. You have the Broncos. Are you all Teddy Bridgewater now that he's back?
Yeah, we already touched on that one. I like the Broncos here. Teddy Bridgewater cleared concussion protocols, so he's set to start today. You got to go Broncos.
What were your other? Oh, the Eagles. How could we leave out the Eagles? Panthers. Hello.
What was that?
The Eagles and Panthers. You have the Eagles plus 3. Was that it?
Yeah, Eagles plus 3. Public all over the Panthers here, indicated by 70% of the bets on the Panthers. Only about 35% of the money, though. So a lot of small bets going up to the window, putting their $10, $20, $50 bets down on the Panthers to cover today. But the big guys, the Sharks in the game, all taking the Eagles. And here's why. The Panthers, right now, they own the second highest blitz rate in the NFL, blitzing on about 42% of their plays. Jalen Hurts has been blitzed about 98 times since he's become a starter in the NFL. His stats, off the chart. He's averaging 8.8 yards per attempt. He's got 8 touchdowns and only 1 interception when being blitzed. So I think this is a perfect game setting up for the Eagles to, get a bounce back, get right game. Everyone looking at their defense, they just got 40 points hung up on them back-to-back weeks. But the Panthers are not the Cowboys or the Chiefs. So I think the defense should have an easier time today with this Panthers offense. And I think +3 is a great bet. Even the money line has a ton of value today.
Yeah, we do have a consensus here. I agree wholeheartedly with Kenny. Honestly, that game with the Chiefs, even though they did not cover, it allowed their offense to kind of get right. They dropped 30 points on a terrible Chiefs defense, but it allowed Jalen Hurts to get in the rhythm, give the ball to Miles Sanders. I agree. The Carolina Panthers offense, this crazy Sam Darnold leading the league in rushing touchdowns is not going to be sustainable. So I think, touchdowns are going to be hard to come by for the Panthers. If the Eagles play the same defense they played against 49ers a couple weeks ago, I do like the Eagles to upset them in Carolina.
It's funny. You think of all the Jets, the former Jets names you're hearing thrown around now. Sam Darnold leading the league. Geno Smith, the savior of Seattle. And then it's like you go back and you got to think to yourself, when they were actually on the Jets, they couldn't figure anything out. What a cursed organization. Can we get a quick update as to what's happening on the other side of the pond right now for those people that have decided to spend their morning with us pre-gaming as opposed to watching the game happening over there? Any updates? What do we got? Albert, I'll go to you.
Yeah, I'm watching right now on the TV. I have the Falcons driving. They're up 20-9. They just got a first down around midfield. So it is tough. The Jets need to hold them here to a punt or a field goal and hopefully score a touchdown on the other end. But man, Matt Ryan, without his two leading wide receivers, is actually throwing the ball really well today. Finally, he's focusing and targeting Kyle Pitts, by far their best offensive weapon. So maybe this is a get-right game for the Falcons, but I still like the Jets to kind of come back. The Jets have a good defense. They just need to settle in right now. There's a lot of game left.
Silence. That was what we call a dramatic pause in the business. It's just a dramatic pause to let you soak that in right there. Everyone's watching to catch up with the game. Kenny bets big. Your next game, obviously, Texans Pats. You got a teaser plan for this one. This is exciting because we haven't really been talking a lot of teasing this week. And I think that if you can figure out the art of the tease, just like in the bedroom when it comes to putting your plays in, you are a success all the way through. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. If you know what you're doing and you can crush the teasers, you can make a lot of money because you're getting great value on these lines. Listen, this Texans-Patriots game has the making of just being a straight-up ugly game, but that doesn't mean we can't make money, right? The Pats come into this game averaging 17.8 points per game. The Texans are averaging 16.8 points per game. But when Davis Mills is the starter, they're averaging only 4.5 points per game. Yes, you heard that right. An NFL team is averaging 4.5 points per game. Not to mention the Pats are missing, I think, 3 or 4 starters from the offensive line. So I think we're going to see Bill Belichick rely heavily on the run game today. Very vanilla offensive game plan just to protect Mac Jones. You know, you don't want to get your quarterback crushed when your O-line's in shambles. So I think we'll see a very conservative game plan approach. And when the Pats are playing on the road unders, they're 28-13 since 2016. So I'm going to take a Patriots teaser. So we're going to tease that line down from -8 to -1. So the Patriots pretty much just have to win the game. And we're going to tease the under from 39 up to 46. So, gives us a little bit more of a wiggle room for a couple points to be scored.
You guys can't tell me Cam Newton is not better than Davis Mills. Some of these numbers that Kenny spits out are crazy when it comes to just how bad he is. There's another one last week. First half, Davis Mills was 1 for 7 for 4 yards and 2 interceptions. That's a real NFL stat in the entire first half. 1 for 7 for 2 interceptions. I mean, that is so bad. I can't believe that the Texans are just continuing to put him out there. I feel sorry for their fans. I feel sorry for their teammates. Just put Cam Newton in. Someone signed Cam Newton.
Put anybody in, honestly. It doesn't even have to be Cam. It could be anybody. Poor kid just got thrown into the mix. Right.
That's true.
I mean, you literally had Tyrod Taylor and Deshaun Watson as your, guys right in front of you. You thought, I'm good. I'm hanging out. I can drink my juice box here and get through this season okay. But that wasn't the case, and the kid is now being flooded with a bunch of red Solo cups in stadiums these days. All right, well, Kevin, it's your turn. I'd love to hear
my game.
Yes,
I'm going to
your
take you
game.
to. I'm going to take you to a state known affectionately as America's Dong. We go to Florida, and I have. This is the battle that's happening in Florida today. Take a look. I've drawn the actual state of Florida.
You drew.
That's right. You got
That's
the
it.
Jags up here. The Jags all the way up there by the by the sack. But today it's all about the Dolphins and the Bucks, and they will be battling it out. It's a game that normally you wouldn't care about because you look at it and you go, well, obviously the Bucks are going to roll all over the Dolphins, as the spread would suggest. I believe they're favored by double digits at this point. I think last I checked, they were favored by 10.5 maybe. But here's the thing. The Dolphins they're at the point where they have nothing to lose. They're insane. They're kind of madmen at this point. And also, if you think about it, I don't look at this like it's a home game for Tampa Bay. I look at it, it's almost an even game. You're going to have fans of both teams if there are such things as Dolphins fans left. But the reality is this. Tampa Bay, I look at it like they lost their last 2 games. I don't think the blowout happened in Foxborough as people were anticipating. I think that was actually a super close game, and it was probably rather scary. Showed that they didn't really have the maybe firepower that everyone anticipated they could turn on whenever. That was, of course, coming off of the game from 2 weeks ago against the Rams, which they lost. Not a close game. They lost by quite a few. So I look at it and I go, Tampa Bay is starting to realize that maybe that they are not as great as everyone thinks that they are. And Florida, Miami is an insane situation right now where I look at it and I go, if you can get 10.5 points, even if you tease that to like 16, perhaps. I love the Dolphins to actually come out and surprise some people. And I think everyone will be scratching their heads at the end of this one going, maybe Tampa Bay isn't necessarily the same team that they were last year. We're starting to see, erosion perhaps is the right way to put it. I don't know what the pros think about this. As a gut guy, that's where I'm feeling right now. Take all those points and let's go Dolphins. Show me something.
Kevin, I'm going to be on the other side, actually. I think last week you kind of have to throw it away. It's super emotional. You actually saw Tom Brady was legit nervous in that game. He was overthrowing every ball early in that first half. The weather was bad. There was just too much emotion coming back home. I think this is the get-right game for Tom Brady. I actually think he's just going to, just blow the doors off of Miami in this game. Miami has a decent defense. So I think Tom Brady is going to take that as a challenge and definitely throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. He didn't have any last week. I think this is where it regresses back up. So give me 3 or 4 touchdowns from Tom Brady and actually a potential blowout for the Bucs.
Kenny, you're shaking your head.
No, yeah, I agree with Kevin here. If I was going to bet a side here, I would definitely go Dolphins. I talked about it last week. Tom Brady for his career is like he only covers when the spread is 7 points or higher. He's 50% against the spread. Didn't cover last week. I don't think he covers the 10 this week. But where I don't agree with Kevin is the season-long outlook for the Buccaneers. Just like last year when everyone, the Bucs hit a lull and people started to write them off, say, is Tom Brady too old? He can't win night games. He's not winning in the primetime games. You could throw all that out. This is still Tom Brady. He still has plethora of weapons on this offense. The defense, they have a ton of injuries. So, yeah, they don't look very good right now. But when those guys start to come back healthy, they'll figure it out. I think this is a great buy low opportunity on the Bucs, like season-long prop bets, win the NFC, Super Bowl, things like that. I think you can get a great value on those bets now.
Serena, it's your turn. Let's go. Shine. Which game you got your eye on this week? Let's make it
Nightcap.
happen.
Let's go. Gotta go Nightcap. Gotta go Bills at Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Bills here. I think the Chiefs are at -3 right now, but I think the Bills defense, when you're really looking at how Patrick Mahomes hasn't been pressured much this season, the Bills defense can pressure him. I think that front seven is strong. I know I would love to hear Kenny bets big because I know he's really out on Josh Allen. But I think when you talk about these two high-powered offenses, you talk about the Bills then, And what they can do, well, they can play defense. They allow just 11 points per game. They've shut out 2 teams in 4 weeks. And I think they can really pressure Patrick Mahomes. And when Patrick Mahomes is pressured, he doesn't play very well. So I would take the Bills in this game on the road. Come on, Kenny. Agree with me here.
This one is tough, you know. Prime time, Patty Mahomes, they need the win. They really need this win. I like the Bills' first half. I think the numbers are pretty staggering when you look at the Bills against the spread record in the first half over the last season and a half under Sean McDermott. But yeah, no way in hell am I taking Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes in a Sunday night football game. Yeah, so I would lean Bills first half and then jump on a live line for the Chiefs to win the game if they go down at some point, because I think the Chiefs will win it.
I'm sorry, Serena. I'm gonna have to disagree with you as well. I agree with Kenny. So this is a perfect not buy low, but I think the books are overvaluing the Bills right now. They did have 2 amazing shutouts, but they played Davis Mills and then played Tua for a quarter, and then the backup there for the rest of the game. So they beat Houston by 40, and then they beat Miami by 35. So I think books are overvaluing that, and the public is jumping on, oh my gosh, the Bills are great. The Bills are a dominant defense, and Josh Allen is right again. But honestly, I do like the Chiefs in this game. It is going to be bad weather, according to the reports. It'll be rainy and windy, so that kind of favors the Bills. And it is a Bills play. It started at +3. Now it's plus 2.5 Bills or minus 2.5 Chiefs. But like what Kenny said, like brightest lights, Sunday night football. The Chiefs have to win. That division is tough right now. The Raiders and the Chargers. If the Chiefs lose, they're going to lose the division. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. So give me the Chiefs to not only win but cover the spread.
It's time for your rapid fire Q&A. Guys, we say there's a lot of stuff we're going to cover on the show. If there's something that you need specific information on, and you've got great minds, you also have my mind, but you have 3 great minds here as well that can help you, of course, maybe lock down a play. This is all about making money. I mean, let's be honest. Kenny, when he wins, he lets us know. And if you don't follow him on Instagram, Kenny Bets Big, you can see the glamorous life of a professional capper. But when he loses, he was eating SpaghettiOs last night directly out of the can. That is a true story. I don't even think he had meatball money. I think he was going meatballless SpaghettiOs last night. So I'm just letting you know. Some weeks are good and some weeks are SpaghettiOs. So let's make sure it's a good week, and let's get to your questions right now as we go around the squares rapid fire style. What team, guys, this is the first one through on today's show. What team currently with the losing record right now is the best team to make the playoffs? Perhaps a good value that you could go ahead and make some money on a team that is not looking great at this point, but could turn it all around. Albert, you are the algorithm master. What say you? Then we'll head to Kenny. Serena, I'll follow it up. What do you say?
All right. Yeah. So I'll start easy right here. It's going to be the worst division, right? So I'm going to choose a team from the worst division because the leader is always going to give the chance for other teams to come back. To me, that's the AFC South. I don't see the Titans being dominant. So what do you have? What are your options in the AFC South? Not the Jaguars, definitely not the Texans. Give me the Colts. They've been performing all year already. But if they get healthy and they get right, the Tennessee Titans are going to give them a chance to come back. So I believe the Colts are 1-3. They finish 9-8, maybe 8-9. They could win that division and make the playoffs. So give me the Colts.
Yeah, I would go Vikings. The Vikings, they're sitting at 1-3. They should have beat the Cardinals. We've already talked about it many times. Week 1, they got robbed by the refs against the Bengals. So yeah, I mean, they could easily be 3-1 right now. I think the NFC, there's definitely going to be some room to grab a wild card spot. So I think the Vikings have the best chance to get right, rattle off a couple wins consecutively and make it close.
Yeah, I think Vikings also, with just the way that the Bears have played this season, I'm not really full on them. Matt Nagy isn't either. And so I'd have to say that the Vikings can really step up in the NFC North. Vikings also just had a couple close games, so that record is deceiving at 1-3.
It's going to sound insane if I tell you that I feel that the Washington football team could turn it all around this season. At this point,
did your mom tell you that, Kevin? Your mom
Well,
tell you to cheer for you?
my mom is disappointed, like the rest of the people I know that are living in the greater Washington area. Shout out Virginia, Maryland as well. This would not be an uncommon situation. And as you talked about, the NFC not so strong. The NFC East, yes, you've got the Cowboys that are looking decent this year, but that could all collapse. So I still feel like there is a chance. And boy, what a value! I think you can get the Washington football team if you want to take them now to make the playoffs. I think it's something like a plus 1,000 or something. It's a crazy number. I was looking at it, and they've done it before where they just start stringing stuff together. Everyone knows they've got a great owner and Daniel Schneider. Everyone loves that guy. That's sarcasm right there. So I think that everyone can figure out. It's just one of those outliers I look at. I'm not looking to put a lot of money on it, but I like some of these losing teams at plus 800, plus 1,000 that could make the playoffs. Even if some wild card action happens, maybe you turn $100 into 800 is a great way to get into some having some extra money to play with in the playoffs.
All right, Kevin. Kevin's like, I've been waiting for my ding. We got another fan question to follow up with that. You guys have a favorite type of prop bet, Albert?
All right, yeah. For me, it's quarterback longest runs. So I focus on not only the running quarterbacks, but if they're playing a team that plays a lot of man-to-man defense on the outside, I think guys can get out there and get yards. For, let's say it's 3rd and 9 and the longest run is 8.5. They get it pretty easily. So far this season, I've been riding like Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray on the longest rush for a quarterback. What about you, Kenny?
Yeah, I've said it a bunch of times. Prop bets not really my forte, but I do dabble every now and then in anytime touchdown scores. You always get plus money on them, and I feel like you can look at the week prior and key in on some names that score pretty frequently. So you can look at the week prior, maybe like a guy like Saquon Barkley didn't score for 2 weeks. So that third week, there's a pretty good chance he's going to get in the end zone. So.
I don't know about you, Kev. I really like when they do like how many times they like throw over to a family member on TV or something like that. Like how many times they showed like Giselle sitting in the like seats, the suites that Robert Kraft gave to Tom Brady and his family, like that kind of stuff. I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean the ones that I like, those unfortunately a lot of those you can't get until the Super Bowl. At least consistently. I mean, I like the defensive / special teams touchdown ones just because I feel that they're always in the advantage of the better. And if you're, you're not getting you're just not getting a lot of kickoff returns, period, because the kickers are always like skying the ball out of the end zone. I mean, I think this season more than ever before, there's been more touchbacks than ever before. Unfortunately, you're just not getting as exciting of those electric returns that you see in college football now. You're just not getting those as often in the pros. But I do think that a lot of defenses are putting up touchdowns. You're getting a lot of pick sixes, which I still like. So I tend to just like those. I gravitate towards them because they're usually like a plus 280 or something. Obviously, it depends on the game. But I've done better on those than others in the past. It's just another thing to look at. Also gives you something to root for when, you've got some action on the other side of the ball as well. So many of our bets are offensive based. I love having some defensive stuff based. It's not just rooting on the under. If you're going for points, me, I love rooting for points, love rooting for overs, love defensive scores as well, because I just think that's an extra excitement. So I don't know if analytically, if that makes sense. Statistically, I'm probably up more than I'm down, but the season is still early, so we will see.
All right, we got another fan question. Best backup quarterback. Geno Smith. Kenny, what do you think?
I'm definitely not going to say Geno Smith because he crushed me on Thursday Night Football with that interception. So definitely not Geno Smith. I mean, can we say Trey Lance is still a backup? He's starting today.
Yes.
He was backup before this week. I think Trey Lance is going to come in today. I think he'll fill in admirably. And I don't think we'll see Jimmy G as a starter anymore. So I don't know if he counts as a backup, but, he was up until today.
That's a great answer. I was going to say Trey Lance myself. I was also going to kind of game this question and say Justin Fields, but I think he is named the quarterback number one
Yes.
there for the Chicago Bears as well. But for me, I think it's going to be Marcus Mariota. I don't like Derek Carr. I know he's having a great year and he's just tearing it up there with John Gruden. But John Gruden's favorite quarterback is the next quarterback. It's always been that way. It's going to continue to be that way. So give me Marcus Mariota. He does a lot of things on the ground that Derek Carr can only dream of. And he's not a back thrower himself. I know he might be a little hurt right now, but give me Mariota.
The best backup quarterback is a backup quarterback by the name of Cam Newton. And he is available as we speak. So I'm just saying, you want, and look, I know, Serena, we have a side bet, you and I, because we have a bet earlier. You said, I think we put him at, will he be
Week
back
7?
in the NFL by week 10, week 7, somewhere in there. And I
yeah.
said, I'll take the over. I didn't think he was going back. I actually do believe now that he will make it back to the NFL this season. And I think that Cam Newton is your best available backup quarterback as we speak.
You don't believe in Fitzpatrick, my friend, as a Washington football team fan?
Well, I don't even. The guy was he was a starter. Now he's a backup. I get very confused as to what's what anymore. It's like, who's your ex? Who's your ex with benefits? I can't keep track of this all.
I knew he'd get the ding for that. Yeah, Cam Newton, come on out. Let me get this bet over Kevin this week. Should I bet on the Browns game? I could see this going either way. How about you, Albert? What do you think? We talked about this in a little bit.
What's tough? Yeah, we alluded to this game earlier. Baker Mayfield is hurt, partially torn labrum. They're going to lean heavily on that, two-headed
Run
monster
game.
attack with Chubbs and Kareem Hunt. But I just believe in the hype right now with Justin Herbert. I think the coaching staff is way better than Anthony Lynn's staff last year. So I think they're going to be in situations to win more often than not from last year. So I just like the Chargers moving forward. There are going to be some growing pains, but I think their defense is great, especially on the outside in their skill positions. And if they put an 8th or 9th man in the box today, I think they should be able to dominate a one-dimensional Browns team. So actually, no, I would not bet the Browns. I would like the Chargers. If I had to bet a total and not the side, I think we mentioned this earlier as well, but we both leaned the under.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about the Baker Mayfield's injury. I don't know if you guys have ever torn a labrum. I have. That's not something you're going out and playing an NFL game with. So I kind of think that injury may be getting played up a little bit. I can't see the Browns trotting their franchise quarterback out for a Week 4 game with a partially torn labrum. With a very high chance of injuring that shoulder even more and then losing him for the season. So I think that injury is being played up a little bit, and I think we should see the Browns dominate this game on the ground. And if the Chargers do make that mistake at bringing up an extra defender or two in the box, I think we'll see Odell Beckham have himself a day.
More importantly, Serena, we should place bets on how Kenny tore his labrum. I mean, that's the more interesting bet here. What do you think? How did he possibly? I'm going to say he was obviously running from a much bigger bookie that he owed money to. Albert, what's your bet?
I'm going to say just a tackle in football.
No.
Serena?
It was opening a can of SpaghettiOs.
Jeez, 0 for 3. Nah, actually, I tore it in the gym. Bench pressing, so.
Whoa! By the way, Baker Mayfield's torn labrum.
That's a literal flex. He just flexed us literally and figuratively with that line.
Is his opposite throwing arm. So I would put money on the Browns because I think that you don't have to move it. I think he's even going to have a shoulder situation so he can just look. I don't play in the NFL.
Kevin, write that down in the notes. Kevin, write that down in the notes. Serena and Kenny on the Browns. I'm going to be on the Chargers. Write that down.
And I'm on the over. I'm the only guy that likes points in this one. I like points. I like
Albert,
points for this one. I'm the only guy.
I think by the time this game is over, you will not want that written down, that you're on the Chargers.
Oh,
write it down in pencil then. Write it down in pencil.
Write it down in pencil.
In Sharpie. Final question, guys. This came in as well. The last one we have time for, then we got to wrap it up. Texans team total, 14.5. You guys over, you guys under. We have not touched on it yet. Quick answer. Obviously, Albert and Kenny say under. The Texans, I think we can count on maybe if a team could put up negative points, I feel like I would take the Texans at -6 is where I have them today. I also have them at a deep under 14. I don't think they put up 14.5 in the last 2 games.
No, I don't think they have. I don't. They have to figure out how to score a touchdown, if anything, first. So, ooh, sorry, Texans. Did we just switch from the Lions to the Texans? Man, jeez. Dear Cam Newton, call us. Come on. All right, well, that's a wrap. Pre-gaming. Thank you for joining us. We're live again, 11 a.m. Eastern every Sunday. We got Albert, you know him as Analytics Capper. We got Kenny Betts Big. Write it in pen. Kevin Klein, eat your bacon, egg, and cheese and enjoy Sunday football. Cheers to that, guys. Canadian bacon.
Canada, you can do no wrong.
Who orders Canadian
Remember
bacon?
what I said, Serena. Remember what I said. Dolphins to cover, Giants to win. Bold calls from this guy. Mouthful of food right now. You got to take me seriously.
Definitely do.
Thanks for watching. If you joined us on the live Twitter, of course on the Instagram as well. We'll be back Monday night to do this again on the Instagram Live. So we hopefully will hang out with you then. All things NFL Game Day. You can find the socials right there. And enjoy your football. Have ourselves a decent day. I mean, this is exciting, guys. I mean, one of us is wearing makeup right now. I'll let you guess.
Don't stuff. How many sandwiches did you eat this morning? That's like
Over
your
under
fourth.
right here. What do you got?
Over. He just bought 100 of those.
You're right. You want
Go
one?
make some pancakes, guys. Go be classy.
It's too late now.
Canadian
this is
bacon.
exciting. Football Sunday is the best day of the week. Let's get excited, everyone. Come on.
Woo!
Yeah.
Save your voices. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the game. Even if the one overseas isn't as good as all the others.
Sorry, Jets.